So moving on. Um, all right. Also, I kind of went from like capitalism. Obviously, it's the like diversity in terms of all sort of goods you can buy. You know, like as like being born in Russia, it's like a post-Soviet country, right? And in Soviet Union, you don't really have a lot of. You just have one brand, basically. What government creates, manufactures, it's the only kind. So now we have all sorts of. You can like buy 10 different like I don't know chewing gums. All sorts of brands can produce various sort of stuff, and the same goes for content as well. That's why people also like kind of fight for your attention as well. So, and the same thing goes for like for Amazon, because sometimes I see like a lot of TikToks where people be like, top 10 items you have to buy from Amazon, and they'll be like
Yeah.
the most useless items ever. Like I don't know, like masking tape, right? There'll be
Yeah.
like a pattern for masking tape, so you have this even edge. When you cut masking tape, it'll be like a stapler will cut
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I know that.
Dude,
Yeah.
scissors and cut it. Like, why would you
Yeah,
have to buy like the actual like thing, right? To just
Mm.
cut, there's like super specific things, or I don't know, like
You can just peel it off yourself,
yeah. Honestly,
That,
now I'm kind of thinking that I can go to Amazon and research the most ridiculous items. You can buy on Amazon.
yeah, you can find all sorts of crude, hilarious items or whatever, like.
yeah,
Mm.
So it's one of things, and the most important part for me, I think, is it was in Social Dilemma as well. I strongly recommend so you guys go and watch it, because it's a perfect thing for our research.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
yeah, and also you can quote it because people like there are some interviews there, and all the people that were interviewed, they worked in Facebook, Google, YouTube, everywhere. Like so, they're like trustworthy, so you can quote them. Yeah, and I really kind of got stuck on that moment when this like young girl, she kind of just scrolls her her phone, and then she was like taking a selfie, right? She posts it, and she just got like 2 likes, and just like just bare face. She just like took photo, and that's it. She posted it. She only got like 2 likes, and so she gets upset and deletes the photo and remakes it, but adds tons of filters, like
Yeah.
super like strong like
yeah,
blue makeup, tons of filters like lashes. She posted, and she got like a lot more likes and like comments that, oh my god, you're so gorgeous and stuff. Yeah,
How it
and
works, that's how they prey upon it or whatever. Into capitalism is just dominant or whatever in society. In my part about capitalism, I don't mind it. Hope you don't mind me mentioning this or whatever. I also mentioned how it's the bane of communism and Marxism or whatever, and certain other nations or whatever. During the 50s and 60s or whatever, it was the bane of them. They said that people's property should be up towards the people whatever, and equally distributing wealth amongst everyone. And how it is similar. Can I ask? I don't mean to point out stereotypes. Do any parts of Russia to this day still are communist based?
no,
Oh
we
no,
just
okay, not at all. Sorry, I'm thinking too much of the
if
past.
you maybe we can go back to have some little tiny history lesson, because I feel like not many people actually understand it, but
No,
Soviet Union
a lot about the Western world. I'm sorry if I don't understand much about Russia.
basically in 1991,
Yeah.
USSR stopped existing, and it's just Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, like all sorts of countries. All of them were a big giant like USSR, but then they sort of fallen apart, and
Yeah,
now
I heard of that in 1991 and the fall of the Berlin Wall, right?
Russia is only like 30 years old. So
Uh,
she's like young country.
yeah,
And
it is. Yeah,
yeah, but anyways,
yeah,
let me finish first.
yeah.
So basically I want to focus in my work, that I'm gonna work like the rest of the week on body dysmorphia. Do you know what is body dysmorphia?
I think so. Is body dysmorphia when someone loses a sense of what they themselves look
That
like, basically.
yeah,
people can't understand how they look like, and because of all those like social standards, especially about women, like pink taxes, when people when women have to spend more money on the same item just because it's like it was designed for women, basically has pink color. It's actually a very interesting topic. So basically I want to focus also like on social anxiety, eating disorders, the fact that we're kind of becoming addicted to likes, and that we always try to seek approval from lots of people, you know, like thousands of people, that we've never done in the past, right? Before social networks existed, we didn't really care about what 10,000 people like think of us, you know?
I guess not, but you could say though that desire for success or fame or whatever, has been prevalent since popular culture. I'd say it's a thing that goes back to maybe the invention of television in the mid 20th century, in the 50s or whatever, and 60s, when TV and people saw those stars or whatever. It's only, and in the 90s, remember the internet was created in 91, and in the late 90s or whatever, people wanted their new website back during the dawn of the new millennium when everything had dial up or whatever. Like, oh, I want to get like 50,000 hits on my new website. But yeah, specifically like the whole Instagramming generation, like taking a selfie, it's a 21st century thing.
Yeah, I also kind of Googled like statistics of TikTok and how many people started downloading it, and the fact that it exists only like this app exists only for 3 years, and it already kind of bet all the super like massive giants like Google, Facebook, you know, like it's like top 3 most downloaded like social network. It's amazing, like, you know,
Really?
how when Facebook was created, it was like 20, no, I mean
2004.
yeah. YouTube again, like 2006 or something.
YouTube came out in 2005. I actually looked a bit into memes, and it didn't come to Europe until July of 2007. I remember being 10 years old and seeing,
Yeah. So basically, you know how like much time they spent to gain that amount of viewers, and especially with coronavirus again, how many people sort of turned into digital.
Yeah, like in China, most of the people who had a smartphone or website, so they download TikTok on their phones.
Yeah, but it's called differently, right? It's not TikTok, it's different name in China.
No, it's also like TikTok,
Really?
but it was turned into Chinese.
Oh, right.
All right. So yeah, I'll basically focus more on, you know, why I also chose like small celebrity, like how's it called, mini celebrity or something. It was
Micro celebrity, e-celebrity.
medium, yeah, tiny celebrity. I don't know.
Because
Basically,
let's be honest, yeah, even the most. Do you watch any famous YouTubers? A lot of people do. Some people think it's garbage. Other than no, all of my friends watch. Do you watch KSI?
yes, I know.
You're not familiar with that? Oh, KSI is this British black YouTuber or whatever who my brothers are obsessed with. Whatever, he's a comedian or whatever. Do you watch? Of course, PewDiePie. Do you ever watch PewDiePie vids?
PewDiePie's the amount of audience he had, like
the second or number one most followed. Yeah, you subscribe YouTube with over 100 million as of 2009. 2019. I mean, sorry. Yeah, he just broke every ground. PewDiePie vids. It's okay, a lot of people hate on him and they'll deliberately take the piss and like on top 100 worst YouTubers. Number 1, PewDiePie. Just hating on PewDiePie. No, he's not. He's solid or whatever. It's a bit repetitive, but there's so much content. There's billions of hours, on YouTube or whatever to watch.
I don't get. I like PewDiePie and stuff, but I still don't get why he has so many like subscribers. Honestly,
I think
just don't get it.
Yeah, he broke new grounds in 2013. He was the first YouTuber. Also, do you remember the popular video series who do sketches more for like teens and young kids? Smosh.
Oh yeah, I grew up with them, of course.
Smosh,
I know.
I did like them or whatever, but they are quite cringy. But they're good at what they tried to be, But then they had to make that awful movie, and then of course Shane Dawson. I'll admit I'm a bit of a YouTube fanatic, whatever. I am obsessed with a lot of these, but I don't really watch YouTube make content. Because I was previously in a film degree, I watch a lot of animation reviews, videos, whatnot. I find it fascinating, and on art itself, and of course meme content or whatever. I love web animation, for example.
In terms of YouTube, firstly, and TikTok again, it's kind of funny how our generation kind of grew up. I don't know. It's just what I kind of came up while doing kind of research and watching all those like videos, TED Talks and stuff. It's how our generation kind of grew up in this like capitalism oriented era, especially America-oriented era, honestly.
By
Like, the
far.
pop culture is supreme. The American pop culture, everyone knows American like celebrities. Everyone wants to like have
Film,
this.
television shows, books, games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is produced in America. And how even on YouTube, it's sort of it even works like that. You have like challenges, right? It's just like, I don't know. Remember like Ice Bucket Challenge or something? It's
Oh
basically
yes.
the same stuff. So it's not original. It's the same mass production, isn't it? It's just same amount of I don't know, like things you have to complete, and that's the challenge. But like all sorts of different people try it out, and they gain like so many views and stuff. So it's also kind of like consumerism, so basically it's like the same challenge is the same. It's like mass production thing, basically, because you gain a lot of views for the stuff. You can, like, I don't know, just basically just repeat. So
Indeed.
that's kind of like interesting as well. Like the fact that you can become famous like on TikTok again. It can become, it's kind of like a business. It's kind of like risk taking, because you can produce a very good content in TikTok and you won't be famous. Or you can do something very like stupid or random.
You can gain, yeah, think
you
about it. That's what the
become
internet
famous.
runs on. Most of the stupidest things, an idiot, has allowed. I mean, the annoying orange. Is anyone familiar with the annoying
Yeah.
orange?
Yeah, but the fact that you have to produce, you
Yeah.
have to, if you open anyone's profile, like any super celebrity on TikTok,
Yeah.
you'll see how many TikToks they upload every day to
Ah.
stay in trends. So the fact that, again, quantity is preferred over quality.
Yes, without a doubt. Making a video every single day. There are another thing that's quite phenomenal: mukbangers, people who eat inordinate amounts of food or whatever. Yeah,
Um,
comedy and entertainment, sometimes with gruesome results or whatever. I can't really discuss here, whatever. But some people do it literally every single day and grow to grotesque proportions or whatever. And it's a bit sad that that's taken a huge form, but that's popular and it sells, and they get literally millions of views.
It's fun.
Is it?
I like the ones when they make fake items, like, I don't know, like hairbrush, but it's like edible and they
Yeah.
eat it. Like,
I guess no, but just the people that shovel as much food in their mouth as possible or whatever. Like Raymond Hotfire knew this particular guy called Nick Ocado I follow or whatever, and he does mukbangs every day and he eats massive portions of food, in the
yeah, that's
thousands.
very interesting, like compared like American mukbangers and Asian ones, because there's a very big difference, honestly. I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I prefer Asian mukbangers more because I feel like they're more professional. They actually like, because American ones are trashy, like they're just like trying to sort of hype. And
Yeah, you'll see them with the big thumbnails, whatever, like maybe like what $200 worth of Burger King, Popeyes, and 10 burgers on the sides, fries, Popeyes, everything.
again, like about attention economy, like clickbait, right?
Yeah.
So if it's again like how people fight for our attention. They make the most like interesting like title or the like thumbnail. Like it should be very, I don't know, sort of, how to say. You need to
It's
actually create it so that people would want to click on it instantly.
yeah,
It's
it's
like a
visceral,
and sometimes it doesn't even match the content, and that's the worst thing,
Yeah,
honestly.
in fact, one of Smosh's most popular videos that got in the 100s of millions or whatever, of something to do with Britney Spears or whatever, had nothing to do with the actual video. It was like Food Battle 2012 or whatever, and just because it got like 50 million more views than the rest.
All right,
Yeah.
Flora, do you want to share your drawings that you showed me?
Yeah, I got some showing for the attention economy.
Oh, do you guys mind if I make like a screenshot so we can like post it on
Yeah.
our that we're working,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm also recording the Zoom now. So after the meeting, you guys can watching the
Oh, nice.
record.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Full
Can you
screen.
tell us more about the idea?
So I think like the attention economy is most attract to the brand. Like when people looking at their phones and they saw different messages, and the messages passed to the brand, they, I think they can be addicted to it.
And what about this, like the second one? Why it has those like eye?
It's his head sort of open.
It looks like Egyptian symbol for me. I don't know.
So for my ideas, I think the brain and the eye are both connect to the attention economy. But when you think about the attention economy, the message that you using your eyes to see from the social media, and the message passed to the brain from the eye.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that this sort of illustration will really suit like the zine style.
Yeah, this is what we were discussing.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly, I kind of like the idea of using like it's been a trend on TikTok for a while, like using sort of like cut out letters to sort of, like they're moving, basically like a collage when you cut out letters from different, like using different fonts and stuff, and you sort of create this like like a font. So I think it'll really match the style of our like zine. It will be a bit grungy, like more traditional. So I think of trying out some like, because we have to use like typeface or something.
I think it's a reference towards the late 70s or whatever, where punks were making zines of themselves, small little sold like art books or whatever, and they would use cutouts from magazines. It's been a tradition for quite a while, yeah, but it's always interesting.
Yeah, but it's just this cutout style. It's been trending on TikTok, so people like Gen Z likes it.
I'll be completely honest. I don't have TikTok downloaded. I'm not really interested in it. I can understand
me
people.
too. I never use the TikTok.
No, it's fine, but at the same time,
I think it's just a waste of my time of creation and doing my homework.
Yeah, but I feel like it's sort of thing that I will go with my design in the like for the zine. I'll use like the cutouts, and also I think I'll do digital art, but I'll make it like I have some texture packs to make it look like it's been printed. So I think I'll go for this style. And you guys will draw traditionally, so obviously like we have to kind of have the same aesthetic. Not necessarily, but I think it'll look very cool, right? When if it'll be like like this sort of grungy bit
I
of
think I can use the Photoshop to make some digital collage with my drawings and with the digital patterns.
Yeah.
Letters, text.
Does MS Paint count?
Paint. Actually, it might look quite cool, like underground.
I'll be honest. I obviously Paint is not really great. Paint is no longer usable with any new versions of Microsoft or Apple as of this point. When it was taken out, like Flash, the video software Flash is going to be shut down by the end of this year, by December the 31st. So all of that, yeah, it is. It's sad, whatever, but they're not going to support any new forms because there are much better packages or whatever for.
Yeah, there's Adobe Animate is Flash, isn't it?
Pardon? Sorry?
Adobe Animate is Flash.
Yeah, essentially whatever, but no, all previous websites that had Flash games, cartoons like Miniclip or whatever, they may be eligible if you like torrent like an old browser, but they're not going to continue supporting them or updating them or anything.
Flash games is a cool thing. I'll write it down. I really like Flash games. We can we can game, but we can make it illustration with sorts of those like when you have to dress up or like do the hairstyles and stuff.
Yeah, I know that.
Those games, those simulators were not really for me. I don't know. They can be fun for just a short brief, but I prefer did you ever play The Sims, actual games?
Yeah.
The Sims, yeah.
All right, Felix, what do you have in terms of research?
In terms of research, Unfortunately, I did a lot of this typed or whatever, so I don't know how to like I can share like my Word documents or whatever with you. Do you know how I can?
Briefly explain what you were the most interested in? Maybe
Yeah,
some.
of course. Yeah, I was mainly exploring the topic of memes, specifically linking it with Generation Z. I basically went out of my way to look at all of the demographics that it turns out there are actually generations Y through X as well, whatever, which can also coincide with that. I was looking at basically how millennials patterns or whatever, and how most teens and children are basically associated with being distracted by memes a lot. I looked a lot about them flicking through, how memes are sort of like a quick burst of like kind of humor and intelligence or whatever. You'll flick through Instagram, you'll see this image macro. I looked a bit into the evolution, and of course that film Feels Good Man, whatever. I looked a lot about that, how the creator or whatever back in 2004 had to go about having this one like meme or whatever that was just, it was used as an alt-right symbol in 2016 or whatever, where Donald Trump or whatever posted himself as a sort of Pepe the Frog or whatever, and it started being associated with kind of neo-Nazi style right-wing groups, believe it or not. And I looked a bit into that, about how something like so simple and innocent or whatever can be twisted into something, like that, and how he had to fight and defend, for such a thing.
Yeah,
Fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Content and stuff. How sometimes like very, like some things that weren't supposed to be something dark,
Yeah.
People kind of take something that was considered nice and create a whole new meaning to it.
Yeah.
This with swastika, honestly, is just like the reverted symbol of sun. And
it's something to do with Buddhism, I believe.
Yeah. So it's sometimes what happened in the internet as well. Remember when there was like all this like fuss going on about like Talking Angela or something?
Talking Angela. Oh yes, of course. Talking Angela was the popular app or whatever, where you could ask her basically anything and you could be vulgar or whatever and ask her to repeat. Yeah. Those themselves are not necessarily memes or whatever. Memes are normally, shared. I looked at all of the platforms, like Know Your Meme, whatever, how anything can be, meme is sort of an idea, an internet phenomena. Via Reddit, I looked at old sort of things like Rage Comics or whatever, what it were, sort of like, and of course the most famous ones, Trollface, normally associate, the one with his ridiculous grin and whatnot, normally associated. And I looked at how a lot of memes often, whilst they can be, split ups taken from popular entertainment, like movies, television shows, a lot of the vast variety of memes are created by 4chan or the sort of like internet sort of hacktivist group or whatever that are responsible for the wide variety, and how memes in and themselves, it's hard to ascertain where the clear point where a meme becomes dead and is no longer usable, and how, sometimes a dead meme can come back or whatever, like that's a very nice everything you have there, arrow to the knee jokes, and sort of Pepe, and how the immortalness of certain memes and ideas, how something, I think that the simpler a meme or idea is, like Pepe is the one meme that can't really go away, because
you will never know. Actually, I feel like it might just disappear in 3 years.
What? Sorry, you feel that
it might come back, but I feel like memes are again this sort of
template.
It's like it's endless, but at the same time they change so rapidly. It's like trend again. Trends are changing so fast.
That's how I associated it with trends and digital distractions.
If someone, sorry, imagine if someone will make on a serious note, they'll want to use Trollface as the base, like to make a meme. It'll be like, huh, are you like from 2010 or something? It's like it's old. If it's not a post irony, I don't know, maybe, but like basically it's also like it's constantly changing, and I feel like even like in terms of when Vine became popular again.
Vine, yeah, but then was shut down in early 2017. Vine was the predecessor to and to be honest, I kind of preferred Vine or whatever. Vine did have a lot of short, like fun, like sketches.
6 seconds, right? To make it, and how again it's like there were like dozens, like unlimited, I don't know, just
thousands like that. Yeah, the limited amount of time, short little bursts or whatever energy that became enormous and perfect for the viewing crowd. Yeah, some hilarious, some pitiful, but it was certainly, we've got there was an abundance of it, you know, and I talk about the abundance of how almost anything could be a meme and how thousands upon thousands are made, and that in certain cases, some memes or whatever, the general success, a lot of meme people or whatever despise memes or whatever, and it seems to be specifically for short attention span, but said that and some people will literally debate like, oh, all memes are unfunny, the very idea or whatever it appeals. But no, that's not the case. I think that the most popular kind of memes I discovered, such as Pepe and Trophées, are the ones that are the most blank, the most simple, in the fact that the humor comes from the customization and the endless tweeting, you know, and Pepe is the most popular and the only one that deserved a film because he's kind of like just a frog with his eyes just sort of twitching, you know. He's kind of there for any situation. He's there for you to draw endless, and you know, the quality of the meme comes from the individual themselves and how creative they're able to be for it. Pepe is just the embodiment of a template in which you can post, you know, any sort of, make him look like Shrek, make him, you know, or in the worst case, making the symbol for alt-right justice or whatever, as they did in 2016, you see.
It's actually quite interesting how our generation's sense of humor was sort of shaped by memes, you know?
Yes.
Memes influenced our sense of humor a lot. And
Yeah.
I feel like we're the first generation that happened, you know?
Yeah. The actual term meme was coined in 1996, I believe, during the idea of a phenomena, you know, interest by a particular scientist, I can't quite recall the name or whatever, that is shared around by people, you know, and when something strikes inspiration or whatever, you know, sharing an image macro or whatever, it can be like popular or whatever, like memeing someone's behavior, you know, like lots of television shows, The Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park have birthed a lot of memes, you know. Meme comes with popular culture or it's internet made, but yeah, so much of comedy or whatever is now intertwined, you know, with memes.
That's
also
a good point, yeah. I quite like this sort of theme about memes. I feel like a lot of people will relate to that, you know, because I feel like, you know, even some dudes will, like, I don't know, use some memes in their essays and stuff as a joke, but at the same time, like, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's just it's something we almost sort of inhale.
Yes, yeah, they're everywhere. They're on Facebook every other second. There are entire meme posting groups, even towards specific cartoon series. Like, I'll admit, are you in any meme groups or whatever online or whatever, just out of interest? Or
I've been, but no, I don't really. I remember like a lot of like all those like cartoons. They have sometimes meme references and stuff. Some memes come from cartoons, obviously, like Futurama and stuff. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually, considering I was doing film study, what are your favorite cartoons? Cartoons are a huge basis for memes and comedy nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like, again, just like some cartoons right now are more for adults rather than kids.
Yeah.
Like,
I think so.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It all started with, of course, The Simpsons, whatever, back in 1989. That was the big shift towards like adult animation or whatever. I like to think that cartoons, specifically those on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, whatever, like, of course, SpongeBob or whatever. Is SpongeBob shown a lot in Russia? Did you watch it? And China?
of course,
Yeah.
We had Nickelodeon. Yeah, it was amazing. Honestly, I prefer Jetix over anything.
Oh, Jetix.
Started off my first animes started off 5, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, anime are, of course, are the basis, you know, for plenty of memes as well. You know, arguably even more than Western animation.
That's a good point. How also, like, you know, all those like different interests, they form communities again. Like anime fans, like games fans, all sorts of, you know, again, like subcultures. How a lot of young people want to sort of find themselves, try out stuff. They form communities. Again, it's like something you would maybe want to research again.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I remember just going in and out from all sorts of communities, honestly. It's like started off with anime, then went to like K-pop, anything like that. Still stuck into it, as you can see. But
yeah.
So I'm researching about how the information age and the artificial intelligence can change the way of create art. So I find the article says that it describes the change that digital technology has was upon the conception of space, art, time, and culture, and how the new media art has historically reflect upon the others. And yeah,
Because yeah, even if you think about it, like how much stuff artificial intelligence has changed over those years, how fast it evolves, you know, how it learns like itself, you know, it's actually quite scary, you know.
It is.
yeah,
And in Social Dilemma, please watch it. Wait, do you all have Netflix? I can like send the
Of
link.
course, yeah. I got Netflix and Amazon Prime.
yeah,
Please. I don't know. Can you open it like that? I'm not sure, but just basically wait. Basically, it's the best film, honestly, and they also discuss how basically everything that you see on your recommend page on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, it's all artificial intelligence, and it learns and it builds this
yeah,
like model of what you prefer. Even if you go to Instagram and you go to ads, you can see that you can switch. Do you want to the app to find ads that suit you, or you want to receive like more random like ads? Sometimes it's scary, like, you know, when I talk about something for a bit and then it pops out like as an ad on Instagram. It's actually scary. Like
yeah,
Yeah,
people would like talk about, I don't know, getting a flower bouquet or something, and then the next second it'll be like bouquets in London and stuff.
yeah,
yeah. It's everywhere, and it's in the front of every YouTube video. Now you'll get 2 ads basically instead of 1, sometimes even 3. And sometimes sometimes I hate it so much now. If I'm trying to watch this new YouTuber, I will literally refresh the page as many times as I can so that there'll be no ad or whatever. It irritates me that much. But
yeah.
mm,
Yeah, you
So
probably remember.
I was watching the film description yesterday on Facebook, and then after 1 hour, I opened the Facebook. There are more videos coming about the film description. That's so scared.
Yeah, and like um about this whole like artificial intelligence,
Yeah,
it's kind of scary, you know, how at some point, you know, people when computer like came to our like lives, a lot of people just lost their jobs because
yeah. So I was the project in my foundation about the artificial intelligence and the society.
Mhm. And what was your like specific what was
So
your
I was focusing on how the artificial intelligence can change people's life.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
But
many people lose their jobs or addict to the website.
so it's like, you know, it's actually quite funny that at some point this artificial intelligence will be that smart that it'll like outplace like the jobs that weren't supposed to be outplaced, you know. So so like
yeah.
and at some point I was like, should I be artist or I will be replaced in the future? Because, you know, some Russian design studio, they were making like express designs for around 2 years. Basically, you'll pay a certain amount of money and you'll receive like branding identity. And everyone, it was a massive thing because they were so abstract. Sometimes they were like super ridiculous, and it became a meme at some point. And people were like shocked, like who is the designer and stuff. And after
Yeah,
2 years, they revealed that it was an artificial intelligence who did all those like branding designs.
yes, like also in China now some of the artificial intelligence they can draw a picture or a painting for only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I
Uh,
think like in the future our the designer like has maybe lost the jobs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
that will be a risk.
Does any of it extend to 3D printing? Can you make artificial, like how you
Yeah,
mentioned?
I got one 3D printing pen.
Oh, you do? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are 3D printing facilities at the uni as well.
Yeah. There's a scanner, you know? You just kind of scan yourself around and it will create 3D model of you.
Damn.
Just scan yourself.
That
It's
can't be cheap
quite
though.
cool. I'm like, I don't know. It's sometimes it's scary, honestly. Sometimes it's really intimidating.
Yeah, one thing, yeah, we're close to having. I remember there being this particular channel, whatever, about stats or whatever, that like gives the likelihood of like the life expectancy of every animal, whatever, and the likelihood of what the world would to be destroyed by. And one of the most likely choices, it went like another world war, 1 in 300,000, and the most likely is that an intelligence uprising, 1 in 20. You know, then genetic warfare, 1 in 8. You know, something like that. You know, they are close to having in computers being as smart as a human mind.
So have you guys watching a film called I, Robot?
Yes, I have seen that
Yeah,
film.
so it's like the robots, they attract to the humans in the future and they try to control all of the earth.
I've seen that, yeah, with Will Smith. It came out in like 2003. I've only ever watched it once or twice. Yeah, that's a good example, but I haven't watched it in so long. I can't remember if it's that great a film in and of itself, though. I'm sure it tells a good message.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stories, you know, of robots. Right, it all started with the Terminator, of course.
Also, you know, how like it's interesting how even some sort of not artificial intelligence necessarily, but like digital celebrities became a thing, you know, like 3D models. Not like the real models, but like the 3D
computer graphics.
Yeah. Basically, now you can like, or even like 3D fashion. Basically, you don't have to like actually do the actual thing with your hands, but you can 3D model like I don't know, like
Yeah,
dresses.
I remember there's a course in the London College of Fashion, and this course is the 3D print textile.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also, like, you know, some celebrities like Vocaloid again. It's amazing. It's like how you generate the singing with just computer, and also like holograms. I remember when it was like 2010 or 11. I was so shocked. Like, it's not a real person, but it's like a projection. I actually saw like a hologram from like K-pop idol when I went to Korea. It was like a digital like concert or something. Oh, there was like a projection. It looked so real. Like at some point, I feel like you can just make, you know, like take money for just projecting stuff.
Yeah.
It's like no need for actual people to perform. You can pay to see like the hologram.
Yeah.
That was also if you like the band Gorillaz, yeah, that was first properly used. Holograms have been a thing for a while, but in their 2006 Demon Days performance, they made holograms of the fictional characters, the Gorillaz, interacting with the popular star Madonna, you know, and it looked amazing for the time. You know, they made CGI models, you know, and they rigged and animated everything and made hologram said versions or whatever, and that was available in the UK. And yeah, that was also fascinating. What's the technology behind that? Behind holograms?
There is actually a very cool thing. Do you know League of Legends? Like the game?
Yeah, of course.
I've not heard it before.
It's like very popular one. So basically they have like World Cups, like actual like championship stuff. Then they created this whole like virtual band with like actual people, but also like 3D models. And on the final like performance, they also made like a projection. They just you couldn't see it in real life. It was on the camera, you know. But it's amazing how it's sort of added to the performance and stuff. I can send you the link to the video because it's amazing. It's, I don't know, it's just the new sort of new thing. I just honestly I feel like virtual bands are actually quite cool. Should enjoy watching it.
Yeah. Are there many other virtual bands aside from World Gorillas and whatnot and these hologram whatever, but the gorillas seem to be like one of the few ones. I mean, actually having a whole universe, you know, dedicated towards them, you know, and them not actually being real, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we have like this Russian celebrity in 2010 or something. It's like 3D model. Like again, it was like at some point people didn't know that it was like a real person. It was just like a 3D animations. So
Yeah.
it was like gorillas, but
Ah,
it was much worse like in quality, but still it's kind of cool. So you know,
yeah. It dates back to like the 60s and 70s or whatever, where there were these 2D animated bands like Josie and the Pussycats or whatever, made by cartoons, and they would do old 60s sort of 70s songs. And I guess they could count, but they didn't have like a full-on universe, or they didn't have the technology, obviously, or really computers to kind of project them in the way they do now.
yeah, but again, like just filming all those amazing, like I don't know, Avengers and stuff. Basically, they just shoot it in just giant rooms with green screen. You know,
I
in
know.
fact,
Are you
most of
a fan?
like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like I was a huge fan. I'm still a huge fan. And they actually built a lot of props. They built some like buildings and stuff. They didn't use that much. I mean, they used obviously, but still,
Yeah.
they also built it in real life. But now I feel like I'm a bit sad about it because sometimes I feel like 3D models look more real than actual people who play in those like you know.
Interesting. You mean like the incredible effects of like Thanos and whatnot? Like I asked, are you a fan of the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I'm not a fan, but I'm familiar, obviously, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
'Cause-
okay, but you're a big fan of Harry Potter. How do you feel about the Fantastic Beasts series or whatever? I used to love Harry Potter too, of course, as a lot of people, but like I don't, I've kind of gone off it. I think J.K. Rowling doesn't really know how to, you know, she's trying out new, and you know the whole issues with her being,
Mhm.
you know what? How truthful is that? Being a turf?
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's
again, actually, very interesting thing because cancel culture becomes a thing. Like you know, cancel culture.
of course, yes, cancel culture, yeah.
Do you know, Flora, what is cancel culture?
I think I heard about it before.
Basically when a celebrity makes a mistake and people start to delete her, you know, like from they start to ban her from like they start to I don't know, just hate her or him, I don't know, just you know, they
Free,
have
they're like, I'm denouncing you or whatever. I'm going to undercut your work. We're boycotting you. We won't enjoy your content. You do
yeah,
not address anything to us. You know, you don't mean anything to us. I denounce you.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of bully.
yeah, exactly, cyberbullying and stuff.
Maybe even worse, because even if you bully someone or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah,
it.
but like in China, we always have the bully on the language bully on the internet.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's another thing. Sometimes people get cancelled for no reason, just
Yeah.
because a
yeah,
hater created a fake news like to just cancel the person. You know, blackmail basically. So it's quite interesting again how sort of sometimes honestly sometimes I don't know what to trust on the internet honestly. At
yeah,
some point
So
I
lies on the internet. Oh my.
Mhm. At some point, you know, when I realized that Wikipedia is not a trustworthy service because everyone can create a page there.
Yes, it
So
is.
so then why our tutor says do not use the Wikipedia for the referencing and
Of
citation?
course not. Yeah, but the whole point about it not being right, yeah, Wikipedia of course maybe isn't always trustworthy, whether, but it's, they have very strict standards considering they're like the biggest source of like free knowledge. So if you choose to like edit a place and say you suck or something in massive all caps on this site, this music, let's say if you hated the musician called James Blunt and you just like went insane and started swearing, obviously they'll take that off or whatever. They have very
Yeah,
strict standards, you know.
in China also, like if you say some rude things to the government, the website will take it off.
Mm.
Yeah, so like our Chinese government is trying to cover the bad things is not good for China.
Yeah.
But we can still find them on the YouTube, on the Google. Yeah.
It's actually
Indeed.
interesting how sort of, like I don't think that USSR could exist at this point. Like, imagine having internet in USSR. It would be because like we had like this wall. People didn't know what happened across the globe. They didn't know what happened in Europe because people couldn't like travel freely like we can now.
They
People
couldn't until 1991.
It's very hard to get like to Europe. When you were in USSR, it was very hard to get a permission to leave the country.
But Belarus is part of Europe, though. It's in northeastern order. I watched a film recently, a bit about Russian history about World War II, and Belarus is located in Europe, the eastern, northeastern part, whatever. It's technically part of it, or whatever. Were they like excommunicated from the rest of Europe for many years until 91?
Well, yeah, because they were part of the USSR, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yes, of course. Sorry.
Yeah, and also like about all those like international news again, how sort of every country has their own truth,
Yeah.
what government says, and now when obviously I feel like who trusts TV nowadays? I feel like honestly, it doesn't trust TV at all. Like I don't
But
trust.
like government never let the Chinese people know what is to choose.
That's why I don't trust Russian TV at all because it's the same, exactly the same.
Yeah.
The Russian news network that you
Yeah.
see. We have BBC here, but what is the BBC equivalent in Russia and China?
It's basically called first channel. Basically,
And
Yeah, it's a channel.
yeah, and basically they mostly have propaganda, mostly. So, and it's kind of interesting how we have our truth, like people themselves have their own truth, government has people from outside of the country telling us like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not what happens, when on the news you hear something about America, like, because America is our enemy and stuff, they will used to say something bad about it, but actual Americans will be like, we're not like that.
Like there were some truly things, the best things happening in the history of China. Yeah, even the Chinese government cover it, but like overseas people can still saw this from the Google. Yeah, that quite a bit strange.
It's like a whole other thing when I was like
Yeah.
talking about propaganda in our countries, right?
UK had it as well to an extent. I mean, until maybe the 50s and 60s or whatever. Yeah, they promoted quite questionable morals or whatever. And I looked up something interesting. Yeah, a way, maybe the worst way of advertisement or whatever, which is a form. Movies throughout the 50s to the 70s or whatever would occasionally, I don't know if I mentioned this, take out, a tiny frame basically of a commercial and stick it into the film or whatever, and it would last like a 24th of a second for like promotion for Pepsi, these pills or whatever, and it would subconsciously trick the brain or whatever, I want that
or something.
Pardon?
But
Sorry.
like, one's like 24 frames and there'll be like 25th one.
Yes, basically, like in the film, you'll be watching, I don't know, let's say Casablanca, or you'll be watching Psycho or whatever, or A Clockwork Orange in 1971, and then you'll just see a quick promotion halfway when this character, like something flashing across the screen, and you'll just see it, and you're like, what's that? But you'll be like, I think I want a pack of menthol cigarettes now, or whatever, Right, but they stopped doing that in like the early 70s because of corrupt tactics. But there was a British television show called The Young Ones that aired in the early 80s that would parody that and have it like for like half a second or whatever and be more like, but it would be of completely random things like a potted plant or a giraffe or things that you can't buy, as a way of making fun of just like the ridiculousness of such things.
So Yeah, should we decide a theme for our zine? All three of us use different theme.
I feel like we can
Or
use
pages.
different ones. I don't want to like, change the way you guys think, and I don't want
So
to
we
change.
continue using the keywords.
Of course, because like I think
Instructed.
uh, as Flora mentioned before, like you ask someone like from the course or something,
Uh,
it's like we use our own themes, right?
Messy. One of
Yeah,
my friends asked Messy.
yeah, exactly.
And
So
she said that we can use the different themes for each pages of our thing.
yeah, and I feel like it's kind of like a zine, Zine doesn't have to always be like the same theme. It's basically the same sort of big theme. Like attention economy is our main, obviously, topic. But if you want to have a certain message that we want to show, I feel like it's totally fine. So you guys decide on what you want.
But the point is, yeah, I think everyone should do it evenly. We said that how many slides should we do? You said about 14. You say it's not too small, not too big, something in between or whatever, and we should
Yeah.
evenly use
Well,
it.
12, so like each of us will produce like 4 images.
Yeah, for images.
Yeah.
And I
And
really, yeah.
do we need to make a article support
I don't know.
or we can make like a poster style, just
Maybe like we can make like booklet.
A booklet, yeah, a booklet maybe containing like several drawings or whatnot,
Yeah, so I was making the zine for the booklet when I was in foundation. Yeah. So if you guys want to see how the type of booklet look like and can send to the
yeah, that
group.
would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, but this is a paper zine, not the digital one.
Well, I feel like the most important thing for us is to sort of focus on attention economy, and I feel like we can keep up with this like zine quality, as
Yeah.
you said in one of the presentations, like to keep it sort of zine style, not like the digital one, but make it like the same sort of.
Yeah.
Are there zine printing facilities at the university to make like your little booklets? I know there's have you guys done an induction at like the printmaking workshops or whatever?
Yeah, I was done this in foundation.
Yeah, me too. So
Yeah,
we kind of know.
of course. Maybe we could use those or whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Would it take too much time to make both maybe a small like physical zine and then convert said things to digital? Should we just choose either platform, whatever? Because I'll admit, maybe I'm not the most well versed in digital platforms. I do a lot of traditional art, whatever, but I will need to learn, of course.
I feel like with your sort of like characters and stuff, I feel like you can try out screen printing, because I feel like it will look very cool, in this sort of like here, the one that I have here. Sorry.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it'll suit your style, because I prefer working digitally, but I'll just make it like look like it's traditional, add some textures to make it look.
I have a small booklet here of some of my some fan art if you want to see, if you recognize them. Yeah, just this popular character.
Oh, so cute.
Ah, thank you. And not so much this one. This is one of my personal favorites. This is just
oh yeah, I love this one.
Sort of scientist or whatever. It's inspired by this anime that I saw. You're familiar with the series Hellsing?
Yeah.
It rings a bell, whatever. Yeah, I particularly liked the hard edges or whatever, and yeah, simple stuff. I can draw normally better than this, but yeah, I find that working on a smaller surface actually limits the amount of ways you can fail as an artist, because
I feel like I'm a bit tired now, so I'll just go and have rest now. But before we're like, if you don't mind, like if we'll finish the meeting now, but let's just, for the rest of the week, let's just focus on creating all those like small like tests, and convert them into actual illustrations. Just like a mock-up, for our final outcomes. So we still have plenty of time, but for example, if you, Felix, if you would want to use screen printing, you'll have to spend some time, because it takes time to prepare the screen,
Yeah.
So annoying. That's why I don't do screen printing, because it's so annoying.
I think you can do the lino cut.
Yeah, you actually can do monoprint.
Cut the board and print it using ink on the paper.
Down there, yeah, everything is it takes does it take a lot longer to make an induction or whatever, because everything is spaced out and there are certain machines, as it help, some that are red.
And you have to book the workshop from the
You have to check if there are available places and stuff.
I'm a bit unsure, what days can we be in uni? It seems to only be Mondays, Tuesdays.
No, like Tuesdays and Fridays in the afternoon. You can go to the workshop, but you have to book in the workshop first.
Okay, I think I'll do that. I've been putting that off or whatever. I really want to.
That's very nice, Flora. I saw the zine.
Yeah, so it spent me like 1 month to change it and fix it for the.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well, good discussion.